Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is my first astrology video on this channel and I'm happy to be here. Today we'll be talking about the Pisces Lunar Eclipse that's occurring on September the 7th, which is Sunday at about 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm in the East Coast, so adjust for your time zone as needed. If you're in the West Coast and your Pacific time zone, subtract 3 hours, adjust for wherever you are. So here's the chart for our lunar eclipse. The moon is in Pisces and the sun is in Virgo, and they're both conjunct one of the lunar nodes, which makes it an eclipse. The sun is with the south node, which is all about our karmic baggage, and the moon is with the north node, and this is where we are finding evolutionary growth. This lunar eclipse is one of the most powerful moons of the year. And the reason I say that is because it is on such a powerful axis of change and realignment, especially soul realignment with Pisces. 15 degrees is the center point of each sign, and 15 degrees has a very critical degree feeling to it, which also makes this a very powerful experience and a very powerful moon. Pisces is an ocean of spirit. It is a spiritual ocean in which we are all droplets, and we don't recognize our individuality within this big, vast ocean. If you were to think of the universe, where there are no humans, no planets, no sun, no light, no nothing. It's just black, but energy, frequency, vibration. This is that ocean of Pisces. And this is where we all come from, and this is where we all return, if that makes sense. This is also the space where creation is brimming with like so much power and so much energy. Anything can be created from this space. When we deal with Pisces, we are dealing with the last sign of the zodiac. It is signifying an ending. When we deal with a full moon, we are dealing with culmination, peak point, endings, reaching full cycles. And during eclipses have a very karmic signature to it. During eclipse season, we tend to experience things that feel almost outside of our control, but that's an illusion. We always have control. We always have a choice in how we respond to a situation, to an unfolding. And that's where these lunar nodes come into play. Which direction are we putting a lot more emphasis? Are we defaulting to the old way, or are we embracing this new way, which is the North Node energy, where the moon is? So with Pisces being this spiritual ocean, it also connects us with this divine unconditional love, right? God love, universal intelligence, this oneness, this recognition that we are all the same, soul to soul, nation to nation, community to community. We are all one. We're all in this together. So this is the reminder here, and this is a very key point of this lunar eclipse. So with this supercharged full moon happening in Pisces, we look to the rulers to add a little bit more direction and flavor. And we have a traditional ruler over here that is Jupiter, and Jupiter is in Cancer where it's exalted. So it's a welcomed guest. It's where it's very comfortable. It is able to operate in its best way, and it's very supported in Cancer. Cancer is very fertile. It's a beautiful place to create and to birth and to mother and to just show this beautiful, deep emotional love and bonding. And Jupiter is also has like traditional connection to creation in that it rules sperm. So there is this element of like birthing something new, but also a release. There's like a karmic ending because of this Pisces and it being a lunar eclipse, and it's like in a full moon, magnified full moon energy. So we are, how I imagined it is if you had a whiteboard and it was full of information and you wiped it all clean. And now you have this blank canvas to create anything you want from scratch. So with Jupiter here in Cancer, we are having this angle of viewing our karmic relationships from a place of deep emotional bonds. And I'm not just talking love relationships. I'm also talking relationships with your parents, relationships with your coworkers, anyone that you formed a close bond with. Jupiter is in a square with Mars, and it's a separating square, but it is prominent nonetheless. And Mars in Libra is debilitated. It's not very strong here, but it's kind of stirring up conflict, especially with this square angle. It's a tense aspect. So it's stirring up conflict and it's throwing challenges at this eclipse ruler. It's throwing challenges at Jupiter. Jupiter is in a stronger position for sure. And I think that we'll lean a little bit more towards like responding in a way that is connected to our divine birthright of unconditional love and acceptance and surrender. But it is possible to be experiencing challenges and conflicts in the realm of relationships, home, family, maybe even things coming up from the past that have to do with, your upbringing, your childhood home, maybe grandmothers, because Cancer rules grandmothers and ancestral, like the maternal ancestral line. So there could be something coming up in that respect. Another thing that I wanted to mention was that the North Node and the Moon are making an quincunx to Venus in Leo, and this is sort of magnifying that aspect again of this having some sort of relational tie. And although wide, it is in a quincunx also with Mars. And Mars being in Venus's ruled sign, again, it's just verifying that this has to do with relationships. So how I'm seeing this is, my coffee machine is turning off. How I'm seeing this is the lunar eclipse is bringing on karmic endings, but also a call to evolve. So these karmic endings don't necessarily mean that a relationship is ending, but there's a part of you, something that is a way of being, a way of thinking, a way of doing, a way of speaking that is dying off. And you're stepping into a brand new space, a brand new canvas where you can choose to create. And the medicine here is to create and to step into a space that is rooted in unconditional love that transcends possession. It's unconditional love that transcends materialism and measurements and conditions. That is very Virgo. Virgo is all about measuring and analyzing and fixing to perfect. And we're moving away from that. We're moving away from this need to fix to full acceptance, from trying to analyze and find logic in to just loving, not having to figure things out, just accepting, just being in the flow of things. And when you can step into that, you learn the karmic lesson of unconditional love and all of the very human emotions that make this love so beautiful that we feel more connected to the divine. That's how I'm seeing this whole lunar eclipse. And I think a lot of people are going to be experiencing that, whether it's through a loss of a loved one, a breakup, maybe even leaving their job. Maybe it's, they're leaving their childhood home, or something, dramatic happens at their home, and, they get a flood in the basement and they have all their childhood photos there. And there is just this, it's almost like a bittersweet release, but knowing that we're all connected and nothing is truly, truly lost when we can stay connected to that one source. I hope that makes sense. One more thing I'd like to mention is the modern ruler of Pisces is Neptune, and that's at 1 degrees of Aries, which is it's a beginning point in the entire cycle. So since it entered Aries, we have been entering this whole new stage and experience of life, a whole new chapter, right? It's almost like a whole new world. And it's at the midpoint between the two other outer planets, which is Pluto at 1 degrees and Uranus at 1 degrees. So they're all speaking to each other. They're all working with each other, like giving each other handshakes. And they're propelling us in this very karmic way collectively to also embrace this new experience, this new world, this new life in connecting on a more divine level, on being able to connect through the heart rather than through ego and strife and whatnot. I know Neptune is in Aries, and Aries is usually connected to like ego and strife. But in this sense, I think collectively we're recognizing that we are all one rather than it being I am one and you are one. We are all one. We are all in this together. How I act and how I speak is going to have an effect on you. The words I carry, the thoughts I carry, the actions I bestow upon people have a vibrational impact. It has a ripple effect. But the most important thing is that vibrational energy that I'm emitting is affecting me the most because I am the source of it. So what happens if we just step into this space of unconditional love, acceptance, forgiveness, compassion, all of these beautiful emotions of being human and connected to the divine, and we share this with everybody? I think that is the karmic lesson here. Anyways, I hope that you really enjoyed this and this resonated with you. If it did, please like, share, subscribe. It helps me grow my channel. I just started. And if this is something that you enjoy, maybe I'll catch you in the next video, which will be either my yoga flow or it will be the solar eclipse that's coming up in Virgo. Until then, take care. Goodbye.